More players disqualified for cheating at Pokemon Worlds. You love to see it. We even got some crazy stories. This dude got 5 wins. That's all you needed to make it to day 2, but the Pokemon company tapped him on the shoulder, said, "Nuh-uh, you cheated, get out of here." This dude got disqualified from Worlds last round on 4-2. He had a chance of making it to day 2. His dream of winning Worlds shattered because they caught him cheating, and for some reason, he can't stop crying. You took the risk when you cheated. This is why I don't understand about the toxicity and derangement of the Pokemon community trying to get sympathy, trying to spin it against the rules, even though they are the ones cheating. So much effort put in the season. That's just a lie to anyone that has an IQ above room temperature. You cheated. You bypassed the effort for literally nothing. Canceling the Open less than 1 month before Worlds, so now trying to spin it against, oh, it's the Pokemon company. They're at fault. They have the problems because they had to cancel the Yokohama Open. And then this new hack check. Last minute. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to bring a stronger hack check to the largest event just because you got caught. We spend money for this. We need respect. Says the people that can't respect the rules of the tournament that are as clear-cut as it gets. Say it with me, class. The use of external devices such as a mobile app to modify or create items or Pokemon in a player's battle team is expressly forbidden. There is no such thing as a legal Pokemon that is genned. You cannot legally hack the game. You cannot legally break the rules. But these people try to spin it that way. Players found to have Pokemon or items that have been tampered with may receive a disqualification regardless of whether the Pokemon or items belong to that player or were traded for, and the rules are lenient to the cheaters and they're still getting busted. If you have hacked Pokemon on your team, it is not immediately over for you. You need to have at least 3 that all get removed, and then you don't have the minimum team size requirements. Now, maybe there's like some more severe hacking where 1 or 2 Pokemon just flag so hard they get you disqualified, but it seems like there's people that are saying like, oh, I had a Pokemon or 2 Pokemon removed from my team. So there's even more cheaters that aren't getting disqualified because then the entire scene comes crumbling down. Also, this new hack check last minute makes no sense. That's a lie. People found this. There was an email that went out to the competitors. At all of our events, teams will be checked for validity throughout the World Championships. Yeah, the rules have just existed forever. Players have gotten disqualified for cheating. We recently had it with the Korean champions. There was enough warnings from the Pokemon company. Due to the highly competitive nature of this event, different tools are at our disposal. They even said there's a new hack check. We recommend you do not use Pokemon provided to you by other people. It's already in the rules, and people are trying to spin it against Pokemon. Like, oh, but Pokemon's all about trading and community and needing 2 versions to get the games. But that's how big the cheating problem is, and it's the cheating problem that the VGC community has created that they're not now being held accountable for. And they even say this: Pokemon discovered to be illegally modified will result in team legality errors, and you will receive a penalty depending on the level of modification and the number of affected Pokemon. So this even kind of like shows the rules. It mimics the rules in that, oh yeah, if you have like 1 or 2 not insanely hacked Pokemon, you don't get hard disqualified. So to get disqualified, you have to be big cheating. And then under all the bold stuff, it says some indicators that a Pokemon was illegally modified are hidden. So that just like debunks the whole genning argument right from the Pokemon company themselves. It doesn't matter if a Pokemon has possible stats. I'm not calling them legal stats. Again, there's no such thing as a legal gen Pokemon. If Pokemon has possible stats, everything looks good on surface, but it has modified data. That data is what gets you busted. So yeah, just lies and nonsense and just like unbelievable statements coming from the cheaters at VGC. I love it though. This is truly heartbreaking. Put so much time and work into Pokemon to get this result. You didn't! You cheated! That just proves you didn't put any work into it. And everyone's crying that it takes too much work. I need to revise my decision to continue to play Pokemon as the joy has become pain. Bro. You're cheating. You are ruining other people's joy and deliberately inflicting pain. We got this, you know, Brady Smith, he's back at it. The dude that's like, yeah, man, I offer coaching services. I have a course on improving in VGC. I also made a thread as to why top-level players hack their Pokemon. I say we go on strike. Please, cheaters. Please go on strike. And then, dude, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, what we want is ginning to be legal after, like, it's, again, just lies. All these kids are liars and hypocrites, and they're toxic enough to defend cheating. That is how rotten Pokemon is. These kids are finally getting what they deserve, and they cannot cope with accountability for their own actions. Bios check out, by the way. My aim is to strictly impartially, or my aim is strictly to impartially shed light. Impartially defending cheating in Pokemon and then saying we need ginning to be legal. That was, okay, so you just lied. And I wish people, oh wait, no, so now we're just going even more into this. Despite all the heartbreak and hot takes that have come from this, funniest thing is that some of you guys really believe you're going to quit over this. We all know you can't. I wish people would. I know they're not, but it would be nice to see VGC players get together and say, no, this is stupid. We're not going to participate until you get your act together. Every legitimate player wants to see this. And guess what? There's more legitimate players than cheaters. They just don't want to compete. VGC is dead because everyone looks at all the cheating. They look at Wolf's hack teams. They see full shiny legendary teams and they go, oh, so the hundreds of hours of work I'm going to put in is just going to be cheated away, and then I'm at a massive disadvantage. I'm not going to compete. Pokemon, like, VGC attendance has not kept up with Pokemon, like, new Pokemon game sales. So it's really just a small community of cheaters. And then one thing I didn't catch on to until it felt kind of late was this argument about inaccessibility. That Pokemon is one of the most accessible esports, and you can't even call it an esport with how much cheating and how little integrity is in the scene. But, you know, Pokemon is one of the most accessible competitive scenes. You just need a Switch and a couple of games you already own because you play Pokemon or you competed from the last season. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, you have most of the legendaries you need, and if you're not using any Legends Pokemon, then you're set. Also, people have been talking about it's not as hard to get the 0 IVs. You breed Teddiursa in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl with 0 IV attack, and then you put it into Pokemon Legends, you evolve it there, and then you drop it into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Also, a lot of people complaining about, like, having to get Landorus in Pokemon Legends, even though you get it in Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC, which 99% of VGC players already have because they've competed in the past, or they've just played Pokemon for a couple of years. Going back to the accessibility argument, yeah, Nintendo Switch in a couple of games, way more accessible than needing, like, top-end gaming PC and peripherals to compete in FPS, or the outrageous cost, both time and money, for competing in real sports for, like, a trainer, dietitian, tennis coach, for example, or any kind of coaching and stuff, and then needing to physically make yourself to the training, like, get yourself to the training areas and take care of your body. Pokemon is the most accessible, and they've been in a cheating bubble for so long. I've been calling this out for a decade, just being laughed at for following the rules, and now they can't handle it. They have to follow the rules. It's crazy. Even the time investment in Pokemon is less than other games because of how Pokemon functions. DQing people at Worlds with a suddenly, another lie. So it's like, all these kids know is lies and hypocrisy, man. Stricter rules is such a bad look. Sorry to those who got caught cheating. That's just how the Pokemon community goes, huh? VGC is such a hype esport. Making the game easier for all to get into would do wonders for the game. Except by cheating, you discourage all those players from getting in. It's not difficult. The Pokemon Company, or like Game Freak, has only made it easier, more accessible to get into competitive, and it's just never enough. I keep on saying this, that if it takes longer than 30 seconds to get a Pokemon legitimately in game, people are still going to cheat, and we can see that with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield and all this other stuff, and then they turn around and say, oh, cheating doesn't give an advantage because it's so quick to get competitive Pokemon now in modern games. It's all lies and hypocrisy, guys. TPCI continues to sabotage this. Not the players cheating, not the scene that has so much cheating. Everyone agrees that all the players are cheating. The only ones getting caught are the ones doing it poorly, and we are seeing massive amount of disqualifications and then insane amounts of support for these disqualified players. That's not what's holding the scene back. No, it's the Pokemon Company for not wanting you to hack the game and follow the rules. It's insane. I just kind of have also tried to look for like other people getting disqualified or other stories and stuff. Team I used for Worlds, fantastic team I didn't do justice for. Oh, look at that. No code. Not legit. Like, see, that's the thing. Like, we're not going to see codes. We're not going to see data mines. We're not going to see who was really cheating that got past the hack detection, because now the VGC community is terrified. More nonsense. We now have our vote for the legalization of ginning in Pokemon VGC. The results are in. All in favor, 712,894. Everyone who competes. This is just like a lie. I think there's an attempt to make this a real number in taking all the people that have like competed from Pokemon home data or something. But no, the number is far less than this. How many regional events were there? Like 15, 16? I can actually check. All opposed, 1. Some weird wolf boy who sits at home and makes YouTube videos about people cheating. Well, if this is cheating, then why are people getting banned? Why is this actually such a problem? If I'm just lying and none of this is cheating, then that means we wouldn't see any of this. The reaction from the Pokemon Company, the response from the community, no. Breaking the rules to gain an advantage over the opponent, even if it's just a time advantage, also an energy advantage, because it's fucking exhausting to make Pokemon. I'll admit that, but as a legitimate player, I'll do it. I'm not going to take the steroids of ginning and bypass all the work needed to be a top competitive player. That's what people don't understand. To be elite in competition, you have to put in more work and sacrifice and resources than other people to make it to the top. Pokemon community, too entitled, they want it the easy way. Yeah, according to this from Kurt, there was like 20 events. This also includes international championships. We also didn't have the North American International Championship. We have Europe here. We also have like not North American regionals and stuff. So I mean, like, yeah, whatever. 20 something events, like 24 events, max attendance 600-700 or so. That's not 700,000. You know, that's not everyone who competes. It also kind of shows like, well, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has had record sales for a Pokemon game, increasing the sales by like 25% over Pokemon Sword and Shield. But we're just getting like a 25 to 30% increase in VGC competitors, while other scenes like Yu-Gi-Oh's having record attendance. The North American World Championship qualifier for Yu-Gi-Oh had over 3,000 duelists. So yeah, it's not, you know, it's not compared to the VGC directly, but also just kind of shows like, oh, this post-COVID, more people are going out. So it's not like, oh yeah, everyone's just going out for Pokemon. No, everyone's going out for all kinds of events. Pokemon TCG, Pokemon VGC getting less than Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I know in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene, Yu-Gi-Oh's popping off, but if you're outside of that, you don't realize how massive Yu-Gi-Oh is. And if you want to talk about inaccessibility, the World Series of Poker having record attendance with like 10,000 people entering, and that's a $10,000 buy-in. That didn't stop World Series of Poker from succeeding, but no, the Pokemon community, they're the ones where it's like, yeah, we're growing, we have a potential scene. It's a shame that we have to put in the bare minimum to follow the rules, because the esport would be so good, even though all you see is just complaints about the esport that, you know, 40 minutes of downtime for a 15-minute match sometimes and not enough filler content. And also the hosts and casters are just lame and boring and don't do anything to like really celebrate the event. It's just all this in-crowd nonsense. Definitely bull. Ginning does nothing for the outcome of the game, ignoring the hundreds of hours of practice and advantage you have over the opponent, as well as the limitless access to Pokemon, whereas a legitimate player will have a limited access to just a couple of dozen Pokemon. Cheating is cheating, pretty black and white when we're talking about esports, but it's a matter of principle. That bull, but cheating is cheating. And see, the cognitive dissonance just tearing the Pokemon community apart. You can only blame yourself. Stop crying. Blame myself for what? Not having time to breed my team while having a lot of things to do? Well, if you care so much about Pokemon and you're trying to represent at the World Championship, the premier pinnacle event of Pokemon, seems like it didn't matter to you if you had other things to do that were more important. Also, welcome to all competition. All competition requires sacrifice and insane amounts of work. You seriously think all the other players didn't get disqualified, bred their mons 100% in a legal way? So what I mean, like, why don't they eat their own then? Why don't you be like, oh yeah, I've proved this dude cheats. Let's just because they're all just holding each other hostage. If you point the finger, 20 more point back at you, and then everyone deflects, and then yeah, it's so weird. So everyone in VGC knows that everyone else is cheating. A couple cheated much more poorly, got disqualified. They're upset about it, and then now they're just like, yeah, but other people are cheating. I know, that's what I've been saying. It's all cheaters. Ban them all. That should be it. But I'm beyond words at this point. As you can see, it's just disgusting and it makes no sense. Really short-sighted to ban cheaters. Players are not gaining an in-competition advantage. More just like lies and not lies, because they're trying to find like the weaseliest way to make a technically kind of true statement. But that's ignoring, like, okay, in-competition advantage. Problem is, outside the competition, advantages are still generated in how you train. Once again, not for Pokemon, but every sport and esport that's ever existed. That you are gaining an advantage against your opponent by breaking the rules. It's cheating. That you can look at the binary, well, if the Pokemon have the same stats, then there's no advantage between them. Okay, now let's actually go to the reality of the situation. So again, just so much dishonesty in the Pokemon community. That's what's holding the Pokemon community back, and Pokemon as an esport. They are basically implying don't use any mon you didn't personally acquire in a franchise largely about trading and playing with your friends. Well, if your friends are cheaters, don't trade with them. And if all you have are cheating friends, then that means you're a cheater too, and you're getting what you deserve. While we're at it, we should petition for counterfeit Pokemon cards to be playable at events as well. Oh, good. This wouldn't, like, normally it's like they start reasonable where it's like, yeah, cheating is wrong, but this one's actually just good. This catches it as well. Like, people talk about inaccessibility. TCG, far less accessible. That you have to get meta decks and you have to spend hundreds of dollars on cards, but counterfeit cards, no one's defending those. Can't use proxies. Those are strictly against the rules. It's the same exact thing for VGC. Also, talk about the accessibility. If you're spending hundreds of dollars for travel, thousands to multiple events to actually get the points to get worlds, yeah, how do you not have $60 for a game? Especially when Regulation D had been announced for a very long time. So, yeah. The only reason I don't play Pokemon VGC is I don't spend the time training Pokemon. Who has time nowadays? Spend 5 hours training Mon, and that's only one. Bro, this is the easiest it's ever been. And if you want to compete, you have to find the time for, again, anything. I love how top level players always use the same exact excuse. The game is inaccessible when they get caught genning just because they didn't feel like training. Why do you think... Yeah, why do you think you're too good to grind the game like everyone else? It's just virtue signaling. Entitled brats, I've been saying the same thing for years. They, like, no one is better than the rules. Your entitlement does not owe you anything. Having children or college or a 9-to-5 job does not mean you are allowed to cheat and other people aren't. That's the natural advantages that exist in every form of competition. Having to spend upwards of just $120 to get one Pokemon because it's a generation or game exclusive, not. Also to mention, you have to pay for Pokemon Home. It can be annoying. And yet that's like the cheapest part of competing in Pokemon or anything. So it just kind of keeps on going around this. Players getting banned, crying about it. Day 2 has begun. And I guess we just kind of see the carnage from here. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.